Okay, so this is like my 10th time trying to do this video. I'm new to this. I've never done it before, and that's going to become completely apparent, but hopefully we'll learn as we go. So this first video is about burnout and being stuck and how I came to create what I call Dust to Dream. And I hope that you'll join along, hopefully because it appeals to you and that and maybe you're in exactly the same spot. I know that for me, it started with like really starting to dread Mondays. Like my Sunday scaries or Sunday funks started on Saturday, which put a real damper on things. And I also had started to realize that I wasn't that fun to be around anymore. I found that my outside interests were dwindling, and I felt like I was always a little bit stressed, and I couldn't really understand how, how I got to where I was, but also like, is this all there is? Like, I had continued to progress in my career. I had a great job and I had a lot of opportunity for professional development, but I just wasn't into it. And it didn't really matter how hard I tried. I mean, we all try hard, right? But it just wasn't doing it for me. And so one day I kind of hit a wall. I think we were on a business trip, another last minute business trip, because those are my favorite. And I just decided that I was tired of getting a call on a Sunday saying you need to be somewhere on Tuesday, and having to reorient my life around work. But I also had no idea what I could really do, because everything I had done up until that point was really geared towards the career that I had built for myself. I thought about switching jobs. Obviously, we all go on LinkedIn and we look for the opportunities and we reach out to our network and we update our resume. But there was like a little voice in the back of my head that was also kind of like, if you do that, like, it's probably just going to be the same thing. Like, wherever you go, there you are. And I knew that the disconnect for me was actually internal, but I just didn't really know what to do with it at that point. I started reading a lot of self-help books, like we all do. Like, that's not an uncommon thing when we're, struggling, but I read a lot of self-help books. Those helped to some degree, but a bigger thing for me was I started looking at my life in a different way. Like, I had reached midlife and was starting to look at, what do I want my life to look like in 10 or 15 years? I knew that I couldn't do this for the next 10 to 15 years, but also like, what could I do for 10 to 15 years? And what did I want my life to look like in maybe like 5 years that was drastically different from where I currently was? And I really focused on trying to align with some sort of purpose as opposed to just like building a career. And as part of that effort, I really wanted to focus on alignment. And alignment for me meant like building a life that was more around time freedom and flexibility and financial resiliency, not just stability, because I think post-COVID, we've all learned that essentially like there is no such thing as stability in the corporate world. And while that hadn't really impacted me directly, it was apparent that I wasn't out of the woods in that regard. So I needed to start thinking about like, how could I diversify my skill set in a way that would give me multiple income streams? And so I created this channel to help others that are feeling stuck and burned out and feeling exactly the same way, because I think we do have options, and I think we just have to retrain ourselves or decondition ourselves from maybe the traditional path that we thought was going to work for us, because I don't think it's going to work for the future. But the upside is most of us have a lot of skills and experiences that are completely undervalued in the corporate world that are really going to serve us if we want to pivot and do something different in the future. So with that, I hope that explains why we're here. I really appreciate that you've joined me on this channel, and there's going to be, the way I've set this up originally, or at first, is because I'm new to this, is I created a stack of 8 videos essentially that will be released on the same day, and then every week thereafter I'll release 1 or 2 videos complementing either those topics or addressing a topic that maybe somebody else brings up. I've also drafted a little bit of a freebie to help people figure out where they're at in the process. If you're, because obviously it's a spectrum of you're either, you just realize that you're kind of getting burned out, but you're not really sure what you want to do. And then on the other end of that spectrum is you're ready to go and you're ready to launch, and you may not even really need this other than for support. But it'll give you a better idea of maybe where you're at in that process. And so feel free to take a look at that. That's linked in the description below. And again, thank you for joining, and I hope to see you in the next video, which that video is called 5 Signs to Know You Might Need to Leave Your Job. So thanks. Have a great day.